Hello, friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel, Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. The Franchise Stars Football League is in Week 11, and we come to you from Denver, Colorado, where the 6-4 Minnesota Vikings visit the 5-4 Denver Broncos. Denver tries to right the ship after letting one get away in Buffalo, falling to the Bills in overtime in a game they had every opportunity to win. The Vikings enter riding a 2-game win streak, most recently a 30-20 win over the Saints. Minnesota leads the FSFL in sacks with 32 and will be putting pressure on Jake Plummer, who threw another 2 picks last week in Buffalo in the red zone to snuff out a Denver drive. The latter of those 2 were in the red zone, I should say. The Vikings don't force many turnovers, but Plummer will face constant pressure, and whether he's up to the task will be a huge factor in this one, as Alan Page, Carl Eller, John Randle, and Keith Millard will be in his face all game long. About ready for kickoff here in Denver. Appreciate you tuning in, as always, here for the Legend Sports Universe on a Friday afternoon broadcast. If you are down in the path of the hurricane, I hope you are all staying safe. Scary situation down there. So Jason Elam will handle the kickoff here for the Broncos. Jake Reed back to return for the Vikings. Kickoff here. Reed will take it at the 1, out across the 10, out across the 15. Gets out to about the 20. And that's where the Vikings will start off, with Kirk Cousins at the helm. Bring up Cousins' numbers on the year. There you see, 19 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Cousins struggled a bit out of the gate, but he has righted the ship, and he has performed very well here in Bud Grant's offense. They are missing Michael Bennett. Bennett dealing with a groin injury. He's still supposed to be out for a few weeks. So Dalvin Cook is getting the bulk of the load. The Vikings had planned on the 2 of them kind of splitting duties. Bennett was doing a great job before he got hurt. He was getting the bulk of the carries, but now Dalvin Cook will kind of run the show here for the next few weeks for the Vikings. 1st and 10 from the 20. I formation behind Cousins. Just underway here in Denver. Cousins drops, looks, fires, and it's almost caught. Off the hands, may have been deflected a little bit there. Just a fingertip breaks that one up. It's 2nd and 10. You see, Cook is the deep back. Cousins, 3-step drop, pass over the middle, complete. There's Randy Moss out across the 30, 14-yard pickup. Cousins to Moss, out to the 34, and the sticks will move. Champ Bailey on the stop. Bailey, who did a terrific job in coverage a week ago against the Bills, but Bailey took a bad pass interference call in the 4th quarter, and then another one in overtime that ultimately led to the Bills' game-winning field goal. I'm sorry, the drive with the game-winning touchdown, Albert Dubenian, who had a huge day. There you see Cook, 14 carries for 66 yards a week ago against the Saints. It's a carry there. He and Tom Jackson getting into it at the end of that play. 2nd and 3 coming up. Formation behind Cousins. Handoff, up the middle, 1st down and more, rumbling into Denver territory. Dave Osborne gets his first carry of the game, and it's 11 yards, bulldozing up the front. Up the middle there, Steve Atwater meets him in the secondary, but the Vikings will gladly take that 11 yards. Strong set here for the Vikings from the Denver 48. Cousins, play action, rolls left, fires. Bit of an awkward throw there from Cousins. Kind of rolled left through against the grain of his body. Over the middle from Moss. It's incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. Moss and Thielen here on the low side. Pressure coming. Pressure coming. Cousins floats it over the middle. Incomplete, and that was almost picked off. Harris gets a hand on it. Harris, who had that rough game, he was locked up against Dubenian for much of that game against the Bills. And Harris, he had a pick in that game. But Dubenian also shredded him for more than 200 yards receiving. The biggest receiving game we've had in any game here. At least the ones that I've streamed on the channel here in year 1 of the FSFL. So 3rd and 10. Here for the Vikings. Couple of big runs early. Pass to Moss, but now it's on the verge of stalling out. Cousins fires here. Well, so much for that. Finds Moss again down inside the 30. Down to the 29-yard line. 2 completions on the drive for Cousins, both to Moss. On the out, just found the gap between 2 layers of defensive back. Nobody near him. You cannot let Randy Moss get that far open. He is great at finding space, but he shouldn't have been able to find that much. 1st and 10, sticks move down to the 29. Hand off Cook. Cook tries to get to the outside. He's met. Harris, the first guy to hit him. It's a loss of 1. Goose Gonsolin there on the tackle. They actually said Gonsolin is the one who ultimately gets credit for the tackle there. Second and 11. Back pressure up the middle, and down goes Cousins. Joe Rizzo right up the middle. Nobody picks him up. And now it'll be 3rd and 16. First sack for the Broncos. Brought down back at the 35. Significantly more difficult chance for Elam if it comes to that. He's got the leg for it. Elam can certainly hit from 52. Especially in the thin air here in Denver. Of course, Elam is on the Broncos, so me saying that Elam would have the kicking attempt there was kind of stupid. Apologies. Blair Walsh, the kicker for the Vikings. But the field goal is now a moot point. 2 rushes up the middle. Get Cousins back-to-back sacks for the Broncos. And a drive that looked promising is now going to turn into a punt for Harry Newsome. So the Broncos come up big there to squelch that drive. Newsome angles the punt towards the sideline. Inside the 10, out at the 7. Good job by Newsome. And Jake Plummer and the Broncos, wearing one of my favorite uniforms in football history, will take the field for their first drive. There you see Plummer, a good yardage total. And the 15 touchdowns are fine. 16 interceptions, however, is not. Plummer has had, I believe, when I went through the list, I think it's 5 multi-interception games through the first 9 games of the season. That is not going to work. Frank Tripucka is the backup. Broncos have a winning record. If that changes, and a loss here would bring them down to 500, you might start to hear the conversation that things should change. And off there, Gerald Wilhite. Remember, Mike Anderson was dinged up last week in that loss to the Bills in Buffalo. So Gerald Wilhite may get a bit more action today. We'll see how that goes. 2nd and 9. Plummer stands in, looks, and down he goes, and both teams putting the pressure on early. The Broncos got a pair of sacks, and now the Vikings, who lead the league in sacks, bring Plummer down. It's 3rd and 14. Plummer better get used to that. The best front 4 in football here in Minnesota. Plummer drops, stands in, looks, throws. He's just going to throw this one away. Pressure coming. Incomplete. And the Broncos go 3 and out. So from the shadow of their own end zone, the Broncos will have to punt. Mike Horan will come on. For the kick, he gets it off. It's a good one, taken by Reed in Minnesota territory. Gets it right back to midfield. And that's where he is brought down. 0-0 here in Denver. Neither team scoring on their opening drive. 8:29 left in quarter number 1. Appreciate you tuning in. Cousins under center. Stands in, looks good protection that time, fires over the middle, complete. I believe that's Jermaine Wiggins, tight end with the reception. 13-yard pickup down to the 37. Sticks will move. High formation here for the Vikings. Pressure comes again. Oh my goodness, the Broncos putting pressure on. Tom Jackson gets in. And Cousins has been sacked 3 times here in the first 2 drives. So the Broncos coming after him. Again, sacks have kind of been the Vikings thing this season. They lead the league. But the Broncos pinning the ears back and going all out after Cousins. 2nd and 15. Cousins fires, short, complete. Feeling on the catch. It'll be 3rd and 9, just a pickup of 6 there. Down to the 37. Cousins drops. Pressure comes, floats it in there, complete. Thielen down inside the 25. With the reception, another catch for Thielen. Back-to-back plays, 1st and 10 coming from the 23. Not a ton on that ball. Thielen had a layout, but he comes up with the grab. Down inside, 6 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Handoff, Cook. Jukes around one tackler, fights his way forward for a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. High formation once more. Handoff, it's Cook again. Looks for a hole, gets grabbed from behind. Brought down by John Mobley. Mobley had a terrific game against the Bills. He was all over the place in that one. 3rd and 5. Year for Minnesota. Cousins under center. Drops back. Stands in, looks, fires, end zone, touchdown, Jermaine Wiggins. So the Vikings strike first, Cousins to Wiggins for the score, and the Vikings take a 6-0 lead here in quarter number 1. Wiggins has had a very solid season for Minnesota. Gets a step there. Hit as he reels it in, but finds his way into the end zone. But Grant excited on the Vikings sideline. Blair Walsh comes on for the extra point. Kick is up and right down the middle. 7 plays, 50 yards, and 4:04 for the Vikings. 7-0 Minnesota, 4:25 left here in quarter number 1. Here comes Walsh with the kick. Rick Upchurch takes it a yard into the end zone. Thinks about returning it, but downs it instead. So the Broncos 3 and out after being pinned inside their own 10 on the opening drive. We'll see what drive number 2 brings. I formation for Denver. Handoff to Wilhite. Wilhite, good move, bounces, gets out to a little bit across the 30. They'll spot it at the 31. It's a pickup of 6, so it'll be 2nd and 4 for Denver. Plummer goes to the shotgun here for Mike Shanahan. Stands in, looks, fires. Intended for Haven Moses. Good coverage there. It's incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 4. Plummer in the gun. Pressure comes up the middle, and down he goes. Lonnie Warwick gets through, 2nd sack for the Vikings. And Plummer gets no protection on that one. That one certainly can't be dropped in Plummer's lap. Haran's going to come on to punt. And once again, the Broncos are turned aside. Coming up on 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Reed takes the punt around the 32. Around, I should say, the 27. Gets out to about the 34. So now the Vikings will try to make this a 2-score game after the touchdown on their last drive. .255 left in quarter number 1. Cousins. Drop, pressure, hit as he throws, it's incomplete. So Denver blitzing a lot in this one in the early going, trying to put pressure on Cousins, take this offense out of its rhythm a bit. Minnesota knows that playbook all too well. And the Vikings leading the Franchise Stars Football League in sacks. They've got 32 through the first 10 weeks of the season. Hand off Cook. Cook bounces it to the outside. He's got some room. He's got a lot of room. Dalvin Cook down the left sideline, down inside the Denver 30. Brought down at the 27. Big run for Dalvin Cook. And the Vikings are in business once again. Big hole formed there. Cook gets past Atwater, who came up to try for the stop from safety. Cook bounces it outside. Once Dalvin Cook gets some room, he is a threat. 1st and 10 from the Denver 27 as the clock approaches 2 minutes in quarter number 1. Pitch. Osborne. Osborne finds a gap, gets to the outside, inside the 15, down to the 10. Dave Osborne's 2nd carry of the game, and he's gotten more than 10 yards on both carries. So the Vikings having their way with this Denver defense right now. First and 10 from the 10. Pressure coming. Cousins hit as he throws again. 6 of 11 to this point. Cousins is taking a beating, though. Been sacked a couple of times. He's been hit a couple of others. Second and goal, I formation. Handoff, Cook, up the middle. Big hole formed. Cook close to the goal line. He'll be marked short. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. So Dalvin Cook comes up just shy of getting that one into the end zone. Osborne, the deep back on this one. 3rd and goal. It's a play action. Cousins stands in and Denver doesn't bite. Oh my goodness, we have not seen a sack-heavy game like this since about week 3 when I redid settings and all that kind of stuff. If you follow this long, you know during the preseason tournament there were a ton of sacks, and it took a lot of ratings adjustments and stuff like that. And the sacks have been great since then, but this game, just two teams going after the quarterback so far. And Minnesota has to find a solution for it because the Broncos are putting all sorts of pressure on them. Blair Walsh will settle here for a 26-yard field goal. Wind coming in. Snap, the kick, it is up, and it is good. So 10-0 Vikings, who despite their offensive line being a sieve in pass protection in the opening quarter, dominate on the scoreboard, which is the only thing that matters, provided Kirk Cousins doesn't end up getting killed by the time this game is over. 10-0 Minnesota as we get ready to head to quarter number 2. Blair Walsh on for the kick. Upchurch in the end zone. He's going to have another one that he can't return. So far, the Vikings have been able to keep Upchurch, a very dangerous return man, from being able to do anything against them. Speaking of not being able to do anything, Denver offense has done nothing so far. Shotgun formation. It's a handoff. And it's Mike Anderson, the first time we've seen Anderson. We mentioned Anderson got dinged up last week against the Bills. He is in the lineup, though. Picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Plummer drops, stands in, pass, complete. Haven Moses out near midfield. 25-yard strike, first completion by Plummer, and Moses is down into Minnesota territory. Joey Browner on the stop, but Moses, his first catch of the game. Gets a step there on Bryant. Browner comes up to help, but not before Haven Moses gets across the midfield line. First and 10. Anderson the lone setback here. Plummer drops, stands in, looks, floats, and this one's going to go out of bounds, incomplete. Plummer only one of his first 4. Second and 10 for the Broncos. Plummer stands in, fires, and it's almost intercepted. Oh boy. Dangerous throw there from Plummer. Wally Hilgenberg. If Hilgenberg holds on to that, he might have taken that one to the house. Instead, it's just an incompletion. It's 3rd and 10. Receivers kind of communicating to each other across the line there. Plummer drops back, fires, complete. Down inside the 30. Plummer zips that one in. First down. Riley Odoms with the grab down to the Vikings 29. So after a couple of poor passes from Plummer, he puts one on a string there to Riley Odoms, who makes the grab. First and 10 for the Broncos from the Vikings 29-yard line. Plummer in the shotgun here for Coach Mike Shanahan. Handoff, low snap. He gets it, gives it. Gerald Wilhite fights his way forward. Pickup of 10 for Wilhite down to the 19. First and 10 for the Broncos. 4 carries, 6 pass plays so far for Denver. They went 3 and out their first 2 possessions, but they're driving here. And off, it's Will Height again. Stiff arm, fights off 1 tackler, but then a couple more come to help. Bring him down. It's a 5-yard pickup. Browner involved on the stop again. 2nd and 5 from the 14. I formation behind Plummer. Will Height, the deep back. He gets the carry. Good block. Sealed off on the outside, and Will Height's going to go to the house. Touchdown, Gerald Will Height. Great seal-off block there as Will Height took the stretch play outside. Formed a hole, and Will Height does the rest of the work. So Gerald Will Height goes in for Denver. Look at that. That's possibly a hold. That certainly looked like that could have been called a hold. Is that Keyworth, I think, is the fullback? I remember right. But good run there for Will Height, and the Broncos are on the board. Jason Elam will come on for the extra point. Kick from Elam is up and right down the middle. 8 plays, 75 yards, and 332 for the Broncos. After falling down 10-0, they've got it back within a field goal. 10-7 Vikings will get the ball back here with 11:28 remaining in quarter number 2. It's on the tee for Elam. Kicking into the wind here in Denver. Hammers this one. Reed, step in the end zone. Jake Reed thinks about bringing it out and then thinks better of it. So the Vikings will start from their 25 here. Kirk Cousins gets back to work. I formation behind Cousins. Drops back. Stands in, quick slant, complete. First down, Adam Thielen. Out across the 35 to the 38. Harris and Thielen getting into it a bit after the play. We've already seen some histrionics after the play on a couple of occasions early on here in this one. 1st and 10 for the Vikes. Hand off, Dalvin Cook. Cook looks for a hole, gets popped by Atwater, rolls off of him, and then essentially collapses. Atwater comes up for the big hit. It'll be 2nd and 4. Atwater, one of my favorite players when I was younger. A punishing safety. 2nd and 4. Cousins drops, pressure up the middle. Cousins hit again, and somebody at some point has to pick up that blitz up the middle. They have had 3 shots at Cousins. They've gotten him they've sacked him a couple of times. They've knocked him down, at least 3 others that I can think of off the top of my head. If you want Cousins to get through this game, somebody's going to have to stop that. Third and 4. Denver looking like they're coming again. Short drop there. Pass. Zips it into Wiggins. It's reeled in. First down with Atwater all over him. Jermaine Wiggins, his 3rd catch of the game. Gets just past the marker. 1st and 10. Sticks move. And Michael Bennett injured this week. Vikings dealing with a few injuries. Dalvin Cook is going to get the lion's share of the carries. He's stopped here for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Ahmad Rashad and Leo Lewis also both out for the Vikings, a pair of receivers. Moss and Thielen, their top 2 options, but Rashad has been option number 3. Hand off Cook. 2nd and 10. He gets hammered, and it's Atwater again. Steve Atwater. It makes a different sound when Atwater hits somebody. 4 solo tackles already for Steve Atwater in this one. It's 3rd and 9 from the midfield stripe. Thielen and Moss next to each other up top here on the 3rd and 9. Cousins drops back. He's got some time, but good coverage, and Cousins is going to float this one out left. Thielen sheds the tackle, but then is brought down. So Cousins floated that one out wide. Got an injury here to Sullivan who's coming out. The Vikings don't want to be losing a lineman. They've already had a hard time protecting Cousins so far in the early going here. 4th and 8. Harry Newsome will come on for the punt. Vikings will try to pin the Broncos deep as they did on the opening drive. Newsome angles it. Bounces inside the 10 into the end zone for the touchback. And you see Gerald Wilhite, 5 carries for 36 yards and a score in this one. He's gotten the bulk of the carries. Mike Anderson is healthy. Or at least he's playing. I'm not sure he's healthy. He got dinged up a bit last week. He's only carried the ball once so far, I believe. Wilhite has had the other carries. The last of which ended up in the end zone. 10-7 Vikings, 7:55 left here in the first half. Plummer in the shotgun. It's Wilhite to his right. Stands in, looks, swings it, left-hand side near the sideline. It's reeled in. Quick little 4-yard out route. Lionel Taylor, his first catch of the game. It'll be 2nd and 6. Plummer again in the gun. Receivers up top. It's Taylor and Moses. Plummer puts that one in there. It's Upchurch on the low side, out across the 40. First catch of the game for Rick Upchurch. Out across the 40 to the 42. 19-yard pickup there. He's not just a return man. Upchurch had a receiving touchdown last week against the Bills. Brought down by Bobby Bryant. First and 10 for the Broncos from their 42. Handoff. That kind of looked like somebody got in somebody's way. And then everybody gets in Mike Anderson's way. Loss of 3. Keith Millard breaks through there. A little bit of a blocking scheme mix-up, it seemed like, in the backfield there for the Broncos. 2nd and 13 coming up. High formation behind Plummer. And off it's Anderson. Anderson tries to get through a hole, and it gets plugged up quickly. Carl Eller. First time we've called Eller's name in this one. Eller stuffs Anderson. It's 3rd and 14. One of the things that have happened is the Vikings have been able to pile up the sacks this year. We've talked about their front four being so good. And what's happened is teams have been trying to double guys on the line, and that has created lanes for the linebackers to get involved in the sack game here for Minnesota. Between Eller and Page and Randle and Millard, offensive lines have their hands full just with the 4 down linemen. Plummer, right-hand side, it's caught. Upchurch sheds a tackler and goes up the sideline. Down inside the Minnesota 30 to the 27. Quick out route to Upchurch, trying to see who the defender was there, who went for the pick. Looks like Bryant. Bryant went for the pick, and then Browner couldn't reel him in. And Upchurch goes down the sideline. 1st and 10 for the Broncos from the Vikings 27. I formation for Denver. Plummer stands in, swings it. Wilhite out of the backfield. It's a pickup of 6. 2nd and 4 down to the 21. 6-yard reception. First catch for Wilhite in this one. Bobby Bryant up on the stop. 2nd and 4 for Denver. Handoff. Wilhite slips through a hole and has space, and he's going into the end zone. Gerald Wilhite, his second touchdown run of the game. So we talked about the injury to Anderson, who is active but has been used limited so far. Wilhite getting the bulk of the carries, and so far Gerald Wilhite having a day. 2 touchdown scores, gives the Broncos the lead. Pending the extra point from Jason Elam, it'll be 14-10 Denver. Wilhite has kind of been the complimentary change of pace back to Anderson. But with Anderson dinged up, that drive goes 7 plays, 80 yards, and 328 for Denver. And the Vikings, right now, on the short end. 4:27 left in the first half. Obviously plenty of time for the Vikings to come down the field. Kickoff from Elam. Won't reach the end zone. Reed will have a chance to return it from the 1. Out across the 20. They'll mark it at the 22. So Vikings take over. 4:23 left in the half. High formation. Short drop. Slant. And Moss with the defender all over him. Moss rips it away. He might have saved Cousins an interception there, actually. It's 2nd and 4. That was tight coverage on Moss. But he comes away with it anyway. Handoff here to Cook. First down. Out to the 34. Cook had that big carry with more than 40 yards earlier. 10 carries, 72 yards on the day. Coming up on 3 minutes left. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. High formation. Cousins stands in. Pressure collapsing, and once again they get a hand on Cousins, who's hit as he throws. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Cousins 10 of 17 to this point. Second and 10 for Minnesota. Hand off to Cook. Good seam. Cook gets first down yardage and more out across. They're going to say his knee went down at the 45. Harris brings him down. But it's 1st and 10, and once again the Vikings move the sticks. Cousins drops. Looks. Thielen, drag route across the field. First down and more. Into Minnesota territory, out of bounds at the 40. Cousins now 11 of 18 for 123 here in the first half. 5th catch of the game for Thielen. Gets ahead of Harris there, who misses the tackle. Champ Bailey ultimately comes over to help. So that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. 14-10 Denver, but the Vikings moving down the field. Here at Mile High. Cousins at the line. Stands in, looks. Moss complete. 2nd and 5 down to the 35. Cousins up to the huddle. Man in motion. Took a little while to get that play off. Hand off to Cook. Not too much doing there. Broncos are actually going to take a timeout. 3rd down coming up here. If they can get a stop, they can use another timeout, force the field goal attempt, and still have time left on the clock with the timeout. Third and 4. Cousins at the line. Stands in. It's a reverse. Thielen tries to get wide. Denver with him. Good job there by Bailey. Brings them down. It's another timeout will be taken by Denver. That'll leave them with 1 after what's presumably going to be a field goal attempt. 4th and 2. This is a long kick for Walsh. He has the leg. All right, so now we got to go and go ahead and ponder this. I'm trying to remember if they're kicking into the wind. I think what we're going to do, if they're kicking, the game wants them to go for it here. I can understand the argument. We're going to let the Vikings go for it. We're going to listen to the game engine this time and let them try to get the first down here, rather than try the 49-yarder and potentially miss it and give Denver even better field position. 4th and 2 from the 32. It's a handoff. Cook looks for a hole, slithers, finds his way. I don't think he got it. That was close, but he's denied. Oh, boy. I thought that second effort there was going to get it, but it's Atwater once again. Right at the marker, Atwater plants Dalvin Cook. And the Broncos shut down the Vikings on 4th and 2. They go for it. And now, Denver with the ball, 1:12 remaining in the half. They're up 14-10. Jason Elam has a terrific leg, so we'll see how risky, how aggressively Denver tries to play this. They do have the 1 timeout left. Plummer drops back. Hole opens up over the middle. Plummer probably could have run there if he wanted to. Instead, he throws it away. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. From the 30. 9 carries, 11 passes so far for Shanahan's Broncos. Plummer drops, pass, out route, incomplete, misses the target. So now, on a 3rd and 10, if Denver can't convert here, the Vikings will get another crack with the ball, albeit field position won't be great for them. They may just try to get this game to the half at that point. But we'll see what happens. 3rd and 10 with 1:02 left, lone setback. Looks like it's Anderson. Pressure comes, and down he goes. We were loaded up with sacks in the first quarter. Don't think we had seen one in the second quarter until that. Down goes Plummer. The Vikings will take a timeout. The Broncos will have to punt. Mike Horan will come on for the kick. So now, how this will progress will kind of depend on what the field position looks like. The Vikings do have 2 timeouts here. And Walsh had the wind at his back, and they still wanted him. They still didn't want to kick the field goal there. That makes that decision a little bit more questionable. So 45 seconds left. Again, Vikings have 2 timeouts. They trail 14-10. They'll start out from their 37. Now, knowing that the wind is at the back certainly will help us kind of manage how this goes. For Minnesota. 1st and 10. Cousins drops. Stands in. Looks. fires. Thielen comes across the field. There's a flag on the play. Thielen out of bounds around the 37. And it's all going to come back. Holding call on Mick Tingelhoff. Denver will take that. So instead of the big gain, I apologize, he was out of bounds around the 40. 37 was the line of scrimmage. Instead, it's the 10-yard holding call, 1st and 20. So now, let's see how Minnesota decides to handle this. Again, they do have 2 timeouts, 38 seconds on the clock. Cousins drops, looks, pass, complete. Thielen out across the 35. Out to the 39. Cousins taking a little bit too long to get this play snapped. Drops back here. Stands in. Looks. Fires. It's complete. Down inside the 40. He's got Moss. 6 ticks left on the clock. Minnesota still has a timeout. Down to the 36. Good strike there, thrown by Kirk Cousins. They want to go with the 53-yard field goal, but they have a timeout. So I think you're going to kind of overrule that a little bit. Do a handoff here. Try to get a little bit because you should still have time to hit the timeout. Handoff there. Dalvin Cook tries to inch his way forward. Timeout with 2 seconds left, down to the 33. So they buy 3 yards. 50-yard attempt coming for Blair Walsh will bring us to halftime. Second and 7. Walsh is set. He's got the wind at his back. Here's the snap. The kick. It is up. And it is wide left. No good. It had the distance. But Walsh's kick goes just left of the upright. He misses from 50. And that's how we enter the tunnel at halftime. 14-10 Broncos. Good one going here in Denver. Check out some of the other games that will occur this week. Again, I can't sim the way the game is set up. I can't sim the other games because all the teams are under human control. So I can't sim the other games until I do all the games that I'm going to broadcast. I can't mix up the order. That's a error. That's Lions and Bears, a pair of 1-win teams, meeting there in Detroit. Then last broadcast of the week, there you see the games we've done so far this week. Panthers over the Cowboys, 13-10. The Oilers over the Jaguars, 20-17. And the 49ers survive to improve to 9-1 against the Buccaneers. 14-10 here in Denver. Gerald Wilhite, 2 touchdown runs for the Broncos. Has them out in front. Both teams got to the quarterback several times in the first quarter. Denver's been able to protect Plummer since then. I think Plummer's been sacked 3 times. I think Cousins has been sacked 3 also, but Cousins had also been hit a bunch of times. Most of that was in the first quarter. Second quarter saw that all kind of level out a bit. So Denver will receive. Surely the Vikings had some conversations in the locker room. They had a 10-0 lead in this one. They now trail it 14-10. Upchurch downs it in the end zone. There you see Gerald Wilhite. 6 carries, 58 yards, and 2 scores. And a big run to set up a score. Had another lengthy touchdown run. Wilhite getting the bulk of carries this one instead of Mike Anderson. So far, doing a fine job. 1st and 10. Handoff. This one is Anderson, and Anderson, looking none the worse for wear, gets a first down out to the 36. So Mike Anderson, only his second carry of the game. Rumbles out of the gate here for second half. First and 10 from the 36. It's another handoff. It's Anderson again, out across the 40, pickup of 4. Sorry, that's the 5th carry for Anderson. Selling him a little bit short. It felt like he had only carried the ball once before that. Wilhite has kind of made his presence felt in this one. 2nd and 6 from the 40. Shotgun. Plummer stands in, hit as he throws. That's incomplete. Plummer took a shot. Believe that was Chad Greenway coming up the middle. Put a shot on Plummer. It's 3rd and 6. Plummer in the shotgun. Pass, right-hand side, good coverage. Bryant on Upchurch, it's incomplete. Plummer's only 6 of 14. So far in this one, Denver goes 3 and out, and Mike Horan will come on to punt. Snap, Horan tees it off. Angle to the side. Reed takes it at the 14, out across the 20, out to the 23. So Broncos take over. They'll try to get something going here with their first touches of the second half. Vikings take over. I think I said Broncos. Sorry. 1st and 10 from the 23. Cousins. Play action. Rolls. Fires. Moss. Complete. First down out across the 35 to the 38. Cousins now 15 of 22. Off the back foot on the play action there. Atwater levies another big hit. I'll tell you, Steve Atwater has been laying the lumber heavy in this one. Six solo tackles, and he's been in on several others. Cousins drops, looks, pass. It's Moss again, out near midfield. Think he got that across the midfield stripe into Denver territory. 7 catches for 99 yards for Randy Moss. 1st and 10 is the sticks move for the Vikings. "17 carries, 23 passes." A little bit of an uncharacteristic distribution for Bud Grant's offense. Play action, and he rolls right into it. And Rulon Jones hammers Kirk Cousins. Loss of 8. Back at the 45. It'll be 2nd and 18. So they run the play action. Cousins rolls to his left, and Rulon Jones buries him for the sack. Second and 18. That sack pushes the Vikings back into their own territory. Hand off Cook. Cook has a bit of a seam, gets that yardage back, and then a little bit extra. Another tackle for Atwater, 3rd and 7, down to the Denver 45. High formation behind Cousins here on 3rd and 7. Drops back. Looks. Over the middle, complete. It's Moss again, and the ball's jarred loose. Moss coughs it up. And Cook finds it. It looks like Cook recovered the fumble. I'll go and take a look at that replay here so we don't misdescribe the play. Man, Moss took a shot. Let's go down the field a little bit here. Whoop. My camera work is terrible. So Moss makes the grab. And then, the Brown would have forced that fumble anyway. All right, that wouldn't have even really been a fumble. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. High formation here behind Cousins. Moss on the low side, feeling up top. Stands, looks, left side, near the sideline. It's caught, but out of bounds. 2nd and 10. Good coverage there by Harris. Hand off to Cook. Brought down. He picks up a few. Call it 3. That pushes them over the 100-yard mark. Joe Rizzo on the stop. It's 3rd and 7. Cousins. Short drop again. Another slant, and this one's picked off, and it's Atwater. Atwater has some room ahead of him. Osborne catches him, but Steve Atwater putting on a defensive performance in this one. Big hit after big hit. He made the big stop on the 4th and 2 late in the first half, and now he intercepts Kirk Cousins. And the Broncos take over. So Wilhite and the Broncos get the ball back. Steve Atwater having a heck of a game for Denver. And that brings that drive to a screeching halt. First turnover of the game. Handoff. Anderson gets planted. John Randle picks him up and stuffs him. 2nd and 14, loss of 4 there. Second and 14 from the 49. Hand off Wilhite. Looks for a little bit of room. Picks up a couple, maybe 3. Everson Griffin looks to be in a bad way for the Vikings. He spikes his helmet in frustration as he goes off to the sideline. But the sideline rather than the tunnel, a sign that he will probably find his way back into this game. 3rd and 11 from the Vikings 48. Plummer in the gun. Stands, looks, pass there, right-hand side, and Plummer gives it right back. Picked off Bobby Bryant. Bryant jumps the route, and nobody's going to get him. Bobby Bryant, pick 6. Vikings into the end zone, take the lead. Bobby Bryant with the pick 6. And oh my goodness, what a mistake from Plummer. Cousins picked off. Vikings on their heels, and Plummer gives it right back, and this one goes into the end zone. 16-14 as Blair Walsh comes on for the extra point. Kick is up and good. 17-14 Vikings. 8:22 left in the third. Bobby Bryant goes the distance. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events. Man, you cannot do that if you're Jake Plummer. You pick off Cousins, who's been playing very, very well. Snuff out that drive. and you turn around and give the ball right back. Upchurch takes it. Upchurch will get a chance at a return this time. Good coverage. He's brought down shy of the 20. And you see Gerald Wilhite, 2 touchdown runs on the day for the Broncos. He's accounted for all their scoring. First and 10 from the 18. 8:19 left here in quarter number 3. Handoff Mike Anderson. That Vikings defense swarms. 7 carries, only 10 yards so far for Anderson. Now we're going to see if this Vikings defense starts to try to put the clamps on in this one. 2nd and 9 from the 19. Handoff up the middle. Anderson gets a few and is brought down. 3rd and 3 from the 25. Ticking down to the 7-minute mark here in quarter number 3. 3rd and 3. Motion on the play. They fake on the sweep. They give it to Anderson, who fights his way for the first down. Jeff Simon hit him, but Anderson able to spin his way through it. He and Alan Page exchanged some unpleasantries at the end of the play. First and 10 from the 29. Plummer stands in. Pass complete. Out across the 40 to the 44. Riley Odoms with the grab. First and 10 for the Broncos. 2nd catch of the game for Odoms. First and 10 from the 44, I formation behind Plummer. Haven Moses, Lionel Taylor here on the south side. Plummer stands in, hit as he throws, floats that one out there. It gets to Anderson, but they're right on him. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Inside 5 minutes left in the 3rd. Shotgun. Looks. Left-hand side. Taylor. Complete. First down. Plummer now 9 of 18 for 135. 2nd catch of the game for Taylor. He's been corralled nicely in this one by this Vikings defense. Plummer stands in again. Goes deep down the right-hand side. Incomplete. Well out of bounds. Harrison Smith in coverage. Second and 10 from the 44. Appreciate you tuning in here. Little Friday afternoon football action. Week 11 of the Franchise Stars Football League. Anderson is stuffed. Nothing doing there. Joey Browner comes up for the stop. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 44. And from here on out, for this first year of the FSFL, what we're going to do is we will broadcast any game that is between 2 teams who are over 500 the rest of the way. So the way the schedule works out, some weeks that might be 2 games, some weeks it might be 5 or 6 games. It's all kind of dependent on the schedule. And of course, we will broadcast every playoff game. Once it gets to that situation, Plummer standing in, he's airing it out. They're going for it all. Into the back of the end zone, touchdown! Rick Upchurch. That same play, they did that against the Bills a week ago. Upchurch just goes into the end zone. Plummer airmails it, and Upchurch comes down with it. Bobby Bryant ended up on the far side of Upchurch, and Upchurch able to get his body position well. Upchurch, not a big guy, but he reels it in, and the Broncos answer. And now Jason Elam will come on for the extra point. This game is obviously important to the Vikings. It's huge, though, for the Broncos. 9 plays, 83 yards, 456 for Denver. Denver has to deal with the Raiders and Chiefs, two of probably the best 3 teams in the AFC. Not the best 3, the best 4. The Chargers are also competitive. That whole division is up above 500. So the Broncos really can't afford to have a slip-up. Especially after leaving a win on the table in Buffalo a week ago. A game that the Broncos, to a man, feel like they should have won. They had their chances. Instead, they fell in overtime. Jake Plummer threw 3 picks in that game. Read out across the 20 to the 22. Terrific game so far from Moss. 8 catches for 113. And the Vikings defense so good all year. Having some animated conversations on the sideline right now. First and 10 for Minnesota. From the 22, I formation. 3-step drop, little slant over the middle, complete to Moss. Pickup of 8. Cousins now 18 of 27 for 217. Inside 3 minutes left in quarter number 3. Handoff, Cook. Finds a seam. Brought down across the 40. Bruce Gonsolin with the stop, but a good run there from Cook, who's over the 100-yard mark on the ground. Again, Cook, Bud Grant's offense, normally run heavy, and they like to go split the package between Dalvin Cook and Michael Bennett, but Bennett is injured. Which might account for why the Vikings have thrown the ball a little bit more than usual in this one. Not wanting to burn Cook out. Well, you could certainly give Dave Osborne some more carries. Osborne has done well the times he's carried the ball in this one. Here's Cook, though. Cook, again, he's so quick, so shifty as he gets through the hole. Atwater brings him down, but he picks up 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. From the 48. Late here in quarter number 3, 21-17 Denver. I formation, play action. Off the back foot, dumps it off Jermaine Wiggins. Wiggins, and it looked like a man, Mobley kind of lost his footing, went down in front of Wiggins, and Wiggins ended up trying to sidestep around him and got hung up. Not the way John Mobley would have drawn that tackle assist up, but he'll certainly take it. 3rd and 2 from the 48. Clock continues to roll here in quarter number 3. Cousins drops. Stands in. Pass. At the marker. Can't be held on to. Incomplete. Tom Jackson with the hit. Jars it loose. 4th and 2 coming up. Intended for Ted Brown. And Harry Newsome will come on to punt. So the Broncos bend but don't break. Turn the Vikings aside. Newsome's going to try to bang this one out of bounds. Upchurch is going to let that one bounce and go out of bounds at the 4. So there you see Wilhite. He has the 2 touchdown runs. The other touchdown, a bomb from Plummer to Rick Upchurch. 29 seconds left in quarter number 3. Deep in their own territory here for the Broncos. Vikings need a good defensive stand here. Handoff Anderson. Tries to go off tackle. He's dragged down. Pick up of a couple. Jeff Simon, Wally Hilgenberg in on the stop. Second and 8 from the 6. Clock ticking down. Plummer under center. We'll see if they decide to call another play here, and they will not. They'll let the clock run out here in the third. 21-17 Denver. Good one rolling. Again, the Vikings 6-4. The Broncos 5-4. The Vikings in that very weak division. The Packers have underperformed. Remember, the Packers won the preseason tournament that I ran when I was kind of testing out all the settings in this project and whatnot. But the Lions and Bears both stink. They've only got one win. Somebody will have two after this week as they play each other. 2nd and 8. Plummer gives it. Anderson. Brought down. It'll be 3rd and 9 from the 5. One setback behind Plummer, who drops. Felt the pressure on his back, gets rid of it. It's complete. Lionel Taylor, first down. Carl Eller was driving his man up the heels of Jake Plummer, who got that pass off to Taylor there. You can see there, Eller, good job that kept him off of him. Plummer didn't take the shot, but Eller was bearing down. First and 10 from the 21. Broncos now have a little bit of breathing room. Plummer in the gun. Play action. Looks, dumps it out of the backfield to Anderson, but Anderson steps out of bounds. It's only a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7. Second catch of the game for Anderson. Plummer at the line. Pitch. Anderson tries to get to the outside. Jeff Simon reads that one like it was in yesterday's news. Brings them down. It'll be 3rd and 6. I formation. Tight set here. 2 tight end set on a 3rd and 6. Let's see what the Broncos have dialed up here. Plummer. Apparently what they have dialed up is Plummer getting sacked. Down he goes. Lonnie Warwick gets him. 4th sack for the Vikings. And Plummer brought down. It'll be 4th and 10 from the 21. And Mike Horan will come on to punt. And we talked about that earlier on. The Vikings, again, they lead the league in sacks. But one of the things that happens, because that front four, with Eller and Page and Randle and Millard is so good, those guys tie up the line so much that the linebackers have a shot of getting through. Good move there by Reed. Juke the first tackler, spins out of the second one, gets out across the 40 to the 42. So Cousins and company get the ball with good field position. Down 4, 11:41 left in the game. So still plenty of time. First and 10. Pitch. Cook tries to string it out wide, and the Broncos are all over that. Tom Jackson in on the stop. 2nd and 11. It's a loss of 1. Mobley and Cook jawing after the play. Second and 11. I formation, 2 tight end set. Moss wide on the low side. Cousins pass. It's Moss on a slant right near midfield. Complete. Stops short of the marker. It'll be 3rd and 1. 10 catches for 131 now for Moss. Cook, head Brown is fullback. Handoff. Cook. They try to get outside again, and once again, the Broncos stop it. Steve Atwater, 9 solo tackles on the game. They stop Cook short. 4th and 1 here, but I kind of feel like you probably have to punt this if you're the Vikings. You do not want to give this ball up in this spot. The game. All right, hold on a second. We're going to pause this. Game wants to go for it. It is huge if you do not convert this, though. If you're Minnesota and you don't convert this attempt here on the 4th and 1, although your argument is also it could kind of fire them up and can carry them through on this drive. I'm going to let the game do it. I'm going to let the game go for it here on 4th and 1. Big play in the game. Remember, the Broncos stopped them on a 4th and short earlier. Big play here. Play action. Pass. And it's, oh my goodness, tipped and almost caught. Instead, it's incomplete, and the Broncos take over. Pass was deflected and ended up in the hands. I believe that was Reed. So the Vikings, Bud Grant puts faith in his defense here. They have now gone for it on 4th down twice in this game. I felt easier about going for the first one. That one I was cautious with, but I let them do it anyway. So now, can Plummer and the Broncos make them pay? In the shotgun, Plummer stands. On the cross, complete. Lionel Taylor inside the 45 to the 43, 2nd and 3. If a field goal would have gotten the Vikings tied or ahead, I definitely would have punted there and then tried to pin them back, knowing that, hey, we can at least pretty much guarantee ourselves 3 here and a lead if we come through with the stop. Pump fake from Plummer. Now he fires down the field, tipped away. Nicely done. Good tip there by Rhodes. 3rd and 3. .850 remaining. 21-17 Broncos. It's been a good one here in Denver. Handoff. Wilhite. 1st down and more. Down inside the 35, down inside the 30. Gerald Wilhite. 8 carries, but over 70 yards and 2 scores. Harrison Smith brings them down. Huge 3rd down conversion for the Broncos. That one hurts if you're Minnesota. Play with the clock a little bit more here. Shotgun, Plummer. Slant, complete. Moses. Stopped just shy of the marker, and Moses took a shot, and he got rolled up a bit there. Squawking after the play, but Haven Moses is going to check out. That's only the 2nd catch from Moses in this one. And the injury check stops the clock. 2nd and inches. Upchurch in motion. They pitch it wide to Anderson. Anderson gets it outside, gets himself past the marker for the 1st down. So Anderson's largely been bottled up, 14 carries for 24 yards. But a big 1st down get there will keep the clock moving for the Broncos. 1st and 10 from the 17. Plummer, play action. Looks, floats it, end zone, corner, tipped away. Intended for Riley Odoms. It's broken up. It's 2nd and 10. Play action again. Plummer rolls, fires, incomplete. It's 3rd and 10. So now the Vikings trying to make sure they limit this to a field goal at worst. Big third down here. Plummer in the gun. He's got Will Height to his right. Takes the snap. Drops. Plummer looks. End zone. Corner. Grab but out of bounds. Incomplete. Put it into the corner there, but couldn't stay in bounds. And now Jason Elam will come on for a 34-yard field goal attempt to try to give the Broncos a 7-point lead. Wind at the back for Elam. Leg strength won't be the problem here. There is a bit of a crosswind, though. Kick is up and right down the middle. Elam hammers it, and it's good. So 24-17, Broncos lead it. Vikings will get the ball back here. 7:07 left, still plenty of time. Elam will look to bang this one deep through the Denver night. Taken just outside the one by Jake Reed. Good coverage by the Broncos. Wow. Terrific coverage starting at the 15. Looked like Reed may have kind of caught himself there. He was right at the goal line. A little bit of hesitation. Not sure whether he could down it or not. Combined with just a lack of good blocking. The Vikings will start off with poor field position here. 7:04 left in the game. 24-17 Broncos. Handoff. It's Cook. Grabbed at the line. Ripped to the ground. Picks up 2. 2nd and 8. Goose Gonsolin, the first man in on the hit for Denver. Second and 8 from the 17. It's Cook again. First down and more. Up the middle. Out across the 30. Out to the 33. 22 carries for 140. A breakout game for Dalvin Cook, who has been the backup to Michael Bennett for much of the season. But Bennett went down a couple weeks ago. And Cook, decent week last week against the Saints, but he has broken out here in this one. Big performance out of Dalvin Cook. Clock down inside 6 minutes. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. And off, it's Cook again. Cuts it back. Gets around one man, but brought down by the next line. Lyle Alzado brings him down. It's a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Clock continues to roll. Grant's offense operating very methodically at this point. They don't feel the need to rush it. Cook brought down there, and now that may change a little bit. 3rd and 7, big stop there. Jackson and Davis in on the combined tackle for Denver. So a big 3rd down here. 3rd and 7. Cousins drops back. Looking for an option. Still looking for an option. Pass. Complete. Moss comes back for him, and Cousins hits him for the first down. Great coverage down the field for the Broncos. Moss turns around and comes back to Cousins, who hits him, and it's a big 3rd down conversion for the Vikings. Getting down inside 4 minutes now. Now out to midfield. Pressure coming. Cousins on the slant, incomplete. Harris hits Moss as that one arrives. 2nd and 10. .341 left in the game. Cousins drops. He's looking. Still looking. Hit as he throws, incomplete. Tom Jackson fights his way through to Cousins. And now it's 3rd and 10. Cousins drops. Short drop. Over the middle. Complete. First down, down inside the 35. Anthony Carter, his first catch of the game, he picks up 16 on the big third down conversion for Minnesota. So Anthony Carter, we have not called his name at all in this one, comes up with possibly the biggest play of the game to this point for the Vikings. Bobby Bryant would say it was his pick six, I'm sure, but still. 3 minutes left in the ball game, 24-17 Denver. Cousins drops, pass incomplete, almost broken up. Barely there for the incompletion. 2nd and 10. Cousins calls out the signals, drops, pass, slant, incomplete, and almost picked off again. Oh boy. Champ Bailey had 2 cracks at picking off Cousins. And now it's 3rd and 10 once more. Both teams do have all 3 timeouts. Cousins drops. Pass. Left side. Near the sideline. Oh! Incomplete. It looked like Moss had it, but trying to keep his feet in, he also got hit. And now it'll be 4th and 10. All right, now the game. So now we're going to go into questioning the Madden AI again. So Blair Walsh missed. He missed from 50 earlier. And now it would be 52 kicking into the wind. I don't think you're doing that here. 2:46, there's enough time left in this game. I think if you're the Vikings, you're going to punt it and try to pin Denver deep and hope that your defense, this Vikings defense has been great. Hope that they can come out, come up with something big here. Get a stop and get you another chance with good field position. So again, Bud Grant is going to opt to put the pressure on the defense. They do have the 3 timeouts. Newsome's kick. Angles towards the sideline. Out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 4. So the Vikings pin the Broncos deep. 24-17 Denver. 2:41 left in the game. Couple of first downs and Denver would wrap this one up. How risky will Denver be with their offense, though? They're going to want to get the first down, obviously. So I'm not sure you're going to exclusively see runs here. Let's see what happens. Plummer, pump fakes, pass, right side, incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. And they're going to call pass interference on Bobby Bryant. So the Broncos, who a week ago were victimized by pass interference call against Champ Bailey in the loss to the Bills, now get a call in their favor, and that is a huge one. Pass interference called on Bobby Bryant. It gives the Broncos the first down. It takes away a good portion of the field position advantage that the Vikings went for with the punt. 1st and 10 from the 23. Plummer stands in, and he's going to be brought down by Keith Millard, and the Vikings are going to take a timeout. Pocket collapses around Plummer. 2nd and 14, 24-17 Denver. They've got it on their own 19. .231 left. Plummer in the gun. 2nd and 14, Plummer. Pass near the marker. It's caught. It'll be 3rd and 1. Vikings decide to take another timeout. So they're going to keep one in their pocket to see if they get the ball back. But now with the 3rd and 1 here, Potentially big play. A stop, they'll get the ball back with 2 minutes remaining. Denver converts here. This one is, for all intents and purposes, over. I formation. Play action. They're going to throw it. Plummer fires. Complete. Haven Moses, and Moses down the right sideline. Harrison Smith can't bring him down. Bryant finally does. But that is going to be a huge play for the Broncos. Deep down in the Vikings territory. Big reception for Haven Moses. Carl Eller is heading down the tunnel. The injury will stop the clock a bit, but the big deal now, the Broncos down to the Vikings 20 on the huge completion on the play action from Jake Plummer to Haven Moses. Moses, who had largely been kept in check in this one, comes up with a huge play there for the Broncos, not just in this game, but perhaps for their season. Taylor is in motion. Pitch. Anderson brought down. 2nd and 16. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Xavier Rhodes on the stop. So now if you're the Broncos, you pretty much have to play this conservatively. Take your opportunity at a field goal that would make it a 2-score game and pretty much end it. Plummer is in the shotgun, though. He's got Wilhite next to him, 4 wide. It is a handoff, though, to Wilhite. Wilhite inside the 20, down inside the 15. Vikings will use their last time out here. Can't just let the Broncos run a minute off the clock. Third and 4 from the 14. I formation behind Plummer. And it's a handoff. It's Wilhite. He is brought down. So he's shy of the marker. It'll be 4th and 2. Elam will come on for a 28-yard field goal attempt. That, for all intents and purposes, would wrap this one up for the Broncos. Let the clock run a bit since the Vikings can't stop it. So Jason Elam from the left hash mark with a chance to end this, pretty much end this game. 28 yards. This should be a chippy for Elam. Kick is up and right down the middle. So Elam hammers it through. The Broncos now a 10-point lead. Little over a minute remaining on the clock. 27-17 Denver. .107 remaining. That pass interference penalty on Bobby Bryant was huge. Good return by Jake Reed there. There was a seam there. Reed gets through that tackle. He might have been able to go the distance. 1st and 10 from the 29. Again, that pass interference penalty. Newsom hit that punt with more than 2 minutes left. There's like 2:40 left or something like that when he hit that. It was out of bounds at the 4. Pass complete. Moss out across the 40. Hurry up offense here for the Vikings and as they cling to hope. Drop back, pressure comes, and down he goes. Sack there for Rizzo, who gets through. That is the 6th time the Broncos have gotten to Kirk Cousins in this one. 2nd and 16. And all is pretty much lost at this point for Minnesota. Drops back. Cousins. Pass. Floats it. Right-hand side. Complete. It's Moss. Steps out of bounds at the 29. So the Vikings not willing to go down without the fight here. "14 ticks left on the clock. They trail by 10. Drops back. Cousins stands under pressure again. Has to dump it off, and it's picked off, and that's going to be the ball game, and perhaps he won't go the distance. Goose Gonsolin steps up and picks off Cousins, and that will do it. Coverage downfield, tries to find Moss. Whenever there's trouble, Cousins is going to look for Moss. Gonsolin waits for it, jumps it, picks it off, and Jake Plummer and the Broncos will go into the victory formation here and take the victory. A big win over the Vikings. Down goes the knee. Huge win for the Denver Broncos. Both quarterbacks took punishment in this one. We haven't had a game like that again since the early season. I think it was like week 3 or so that I was able to finally get the sack situation under wraps. And it's been good since then, but this one, two teams that can get the quarterback did just that in this one. Cousins and Plummer eligible for combat pay at the end of this one. 27-17, Broncos over the Vikings. Take a quick look here at the team stats. Everything in the favor of Minnesota. Total offense, rushing yards, terrific game for Dalvin Cook. First downs, total yards. The Vikings turn the ball over twice in this one. So, I mean, all the advantage stuff leans towards Minnesota, except the scoreboard. And look at time of possession, 34.5 to 25.5. But, man, that call on Bobby Bryant, just a huge, huge play. And, again, the Broncos benefited, or I should say the Broncos were killed by that a week ago. A call on Champ Bailey against the Bills in overtime. This time it benefits them. They go down. They were able to make it a 2-score game, and that put the wraps on it. Cousins, 24 of 41 for 304, a touchdown and 2 picks. Jake Plummer, 16 of 30, 276, a touchdown and an interception. The win probably buys Plummer a little bit more time at quarterback. There you see Dalvin Cook, 24 for 143. Terrific job for him. Again, getting a heavier load than he's gotten all season now. The injury to Michael Bennett pushing Cook into a little bit more action. Mike Anderson, 15 carries for 18 yards. But Gerald Wilhite, 10 carries for 88 yards, 2 scores, 22-yard touchdown run among them. On the receiving side, big day for Moss, 13 for 192. Adam Thielen, 6 for 661. Rick Upchurch, 4 for 110, the 44-yard bomb for the touchdown. The big reception there. Big 49-yard completion on a third down situation for the Broncos there. Plummer to Haven Moses, who was largely contained in this one. But the Broncos, certainly not a flawless game, but they made the big plays when they had to. And they will come out of here with the 27-17 victory. So the Vikings now fall to 6-5. The Broncos improve to 6-4 in the best division in football. At AFC West, again, every team in that division up over 500, including the Raiders, who have the best record in the AFC, tied with the Oilers. And the Chiefs, who we will see in the next broadcast here on the channel, the Monday Night Football game for Week 11. The Eagles head into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Hope I will see you then. I greatly appreciate you tuning in as always. Bang that like button if you haven't as of yet. Subscribe if you haven't as of yet. And most importantly, folks, be good to each other. And we'll talk soon. The Broncos take down the Vikings 27-17 in Denver.